Hey there guys, it's Zologe here with a deck profile for the Gusto OTK. This is a deck that revolves around bringing out the Gusto Freeze using Pirika as well as Gusto Guldo to make our opponent take all the battle damage from us smashing our floaters into their big beat sticks, which we've beefed up with things like United We Stand and Mage Power to make our opponent just lose because of it. Now our two floaters here, which is, well, our two main floaters that we're going to be using for this, the Guldo and the Eagle, are both very, very squishy, making our opponent take a huge ton of damage from them. Now generally you just want to go Guldo and then go into Eagle, then smack the last couple of life points with the Winda. If that's not enough, then the last hit from Freeze will do the job. So without further ado, let's go into the deck profile and explore my choices as we go along. So first we run the Triple Calm. This is to recycle your floaters to keep yourself alive a lot longer till you have your combo pieces and things like that. You want to recycle things like the Guldos and the Eagles, but make sure you keep one Guldo in the grave. That is very important. Should you have one already, you don't want to shuffle that in ever, because, you know, the Pirika is just going to be using it for synchroing into our threes. Next we run the double Denko Sekat, lock our opponent out of back row. That could really hurt this deck. Things like Fire Lake, things like Skill Drain, Vanity's Emptiness, all cards which are commonly played online. And it's just really nice. It's just a really nice card to have. Well, yeah, and if you're playing against something like Shadal's, which is probably this deck's worst matchup, you have other things to deal with the Construct, because Construct wrecks this deck so hard. It's not even funny. Next we go for the one Gusto Thunbolt. This is just to get access to our Pirika by smacking into our opponent's monsters by having something like a Freeze on board already, or you could potentially just use it to float into your other tuners. So that's pretty cool. Next we go for the Flying Kamakiri. It's basically filling the same purpose as the Gusto Thunbolt. So you basically use it to bring out your floaters to protect yourself either from damage or to set up later on. The cool thing is it can actually do both of these at once. Next we run the triple Pirika. This is our main monster that we're going to be going into a lot. When you normal summon her, you can, when you normal or special summon her actually, you can special summon one Wind Tuner monster from your graveyard. That means that you can go for Guldo, you can go for Eagle, and just have a lot of fun. And now you're not going to be summoning Eagle too often, but the Guldo most definitely, because it just helps out a whole lot, because it's going to be your main target into the Sprees. Actually, it's your only target. And the cool thing is with Freeze is when he's synchro summoned, you can add one Gusto card from your grave to your hand. So you basically just get back your Pirika so you can go ahead and make him next turn again, which is just crazy. Next we run the triple Gusto Guldo. This is a floater and a tuner that we use to go into Freeze. He is 500, so our opponent's going to be taking a lot of damage from when this guy's attacking. Which is, yeah, pretty good in general, and since he just recruits straight in, floats straight into our Eagle, which floats straight into a Winda, our opponent's going to be taking a load of damage, considering how weak these things are to begin with. Next we go for the triple Winda. This is just another way to float, nothing too fancy there. And finally we run the Gusto Eagles, triples of those as well. They float into things like the Guldo or the Winda. Actually, no, they don't float into the Guldo. They float into the Pirika, the Winda, and the Calm, I do believe. So you can use those either for Xyz plays, Synchro plays, or what have you. Next we run the triple Quillpen of Guldos. This is to get rid of things like Skill Drain, actually push it back a turn, so they have to pay the 1,000 life points again, because it hurts them a lot considering what they're facing. So they can dish out 5,000 points of damage with just two monsters is generally pretty damn good. So having them pay that 1,000 extra life points is really, really nice. Next we run the one Foolish Burial. This speeds up the deck immensely, just to ditch a Guldo should you already have a Pirika on board. This helps you out so much. Next we run the triple Mystical Space Typhoon to get rid of scales, things like the Tool, Assembler, and things like that that are going to come into the game shortly. Next we run the Axe of Fools. This is to get rid of things that really just power up things and negate the effects of monsters that really hurt you. things like Construct, Vanity's Emptiness, Vanity's Fiend rather, and Majesty's Fiend. Those 3 cards hurt you a lot. So having Axe of Fools to negate their effects and buffing them up so you can, smack your tiny birds into them, making opponent take damage, is huge. Also, Winda is another card which really hurts this deck because, you can't go for your Freeze if you already special summoned once and you can't special summon again. So this is really important for you to have. Next we've run the triple United We Stand. This is just to buff up our opponent's monsters relatively easily. Alternatively, you can also use it to buff up your own monster should you really just want to go for a quick beat over something or what have you. Next we run the Mage Power, same reason as we've run the United We Stand, just to buff up our opponent's monsters, or alternatively buff up our own to make our opponent take even more damage. Next we run the final card of the deck, which is the triple Royal Decree to negate things like Fire Lake, Vanity's Emptiness, and the Skill Drain. So we basically run a lot of hate for those 3 particular cards, for good reason too, because they hurt this deck so much, it's not even funny. As for the extra deck, we've run 1 Stardust Dragon, 1 Orient Dragon, triple Sprees, double Goldos, double Mist Bird, 1 Lightning Chidori, 1 Daigusto Emerald, 1 Mirza Rhythm, 1 Shinki Saintoria, and finally we run 2 Daigusto Phoenix. So tell me what you guys think about this deck, and I'm out!